Call this beat Will Smith, cause it slaps hard. Hear it not when I pull up on your boulevard.
Question! So guys, listen up. This is a very important lesson to learn, right? You never know who is out there watching you in your everyday life. And this is important to know when it comes to a variety of things, but especially when it comes to the dating world. Now, I learned this in the job world because being out here in California, most of my life in terms of making money has been freelance stuff. I do video stuff, I write, I create music. This is when I'm not doing this show, but also I produce this show, the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. And so in terms of me and my journey of getting jobs and money, most of the stuff that I've gotten has been the result of other people seeing what I'm already doing, liking it, and hiring me. So I do freelance video. When I started out, I was making my own little videos here and there, putting them up on the internet for people to see. And eventually when somebody needed a job for somebody to be able to edit their stuff together, I already had stuff to just send them. They liked it. They hired me. So now I'm doing like professional stuff. And then as I'm doing the professional videos, those videos are being seen by other people. And then they reach out to me and they like what they see and they want to hire me. And so this has been very helpful in the job world at large for me because I don't like the idea of having to apply for stuff. I don't like having to put together resumes. And so the fact that I already have stuff out there that other people can see and know that based on that I am worth hiring has always been great. So how does this correlate with you in the dating world? Well, there are women out there right now that you are probably unaware of that are looking at you and seeing how you're moving about in the world, but also if you're getting into relationships or you're dating other women, unbeknownst to you, they are assessing how you are when you're dealing with these other women and how you're treating them, how you're showing up. And that's good for you because in the span of dating, it's inevitable that you're going to come across somebody that you're dating and for whatever reason, it just may not work out. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other women out there that are looking at you in the relationship that you're in and assessing how you're treating her, how you're talking about her, and if you're doing a good job, hoping that whatever you're in at the moment falls apart so that way they could be next in line. And I've said this on the show before that ultimately women want men that other women want. But in addition to that, they also want to know that the guy they're getting with ideally is going to treat them well, et cetera, et cetera. So this is why I'm very much against you as a guy ever complaining about the girl that you're currently dating, talking bad about her, bad-mouthing her, trying to put the blame on your problems and her fault, or trying to put all your dirty laundry out there because you don't know who's assessing that laundry that you're putting out there, So, for example, something as simple as, let's say you go on a date with somebody new, right? And they say, well, what's the last relationship you had? And you might say to them, oh, it was like 6 or 7 months ago. And at that point, she's like, oh, well, why did it end? Now, you could make the mistake of being like, oh, she was just trashy and oh, she just this and that. She was just a bad person and blah, blah. And you're thinking that that's going to get you in her good graces by bad-mouthing this previous woman in hopes that she's going to be the better woman. But what the woman's actually assessing is, oh, so this guy's going to talk trash about me if we break up and he's going to talk all this kinds of dirt and he probably wasn't very respectful of her, et cetera, et cetera. So even in that situation where she couldn't directly see you, the assessment you're giving to her is going to make her summarize that if she gets with you, you're going to do all these bad things or trash her or whatever. And women across the board do not want that, right? Now, another situation, let's say, again, because you don't know who's always watching, you could have female friends right now that maybe in the past they hadn't considered you. And then all of a sudden, as they get to know you more, they start thinking maybe you could be a good candidate. And then at the point where they start catching feelings for you, suddenly you're now dating somebody else, right? So now you're not even aware that the girl in your friendship group is actually crushing on you like that, right? Well, the whole time that she's seeing you in this relationship, she's now saying, okay, let me observe this guy and see how he actually treats women when he's in a relationship, because I hadn't considered him before. And now that I kind of like him, if this doesn't work out, I might still give him a shot because, as I said before, and as Doc Love used to say, kitty cats compete. So just because you have a girlfriend doesn't mean this girlfriend of yours isn't going to not like you. It's just she's going to be patiently waiting in the wings, right? But while she's waiting, she's looking. So what are you doing during this time? Are you talking bad about her? Are you abusing her? Are you not listening to her when she's trying to talk? You have to look at the things that you're doing with your current girlfriend and see what's getting out there, because there are women around you, I'm telling you. There are female friends that you're not aware of. There are coworkers that are women of yours that you're not aware of, that are hearing how you're treating the woman you're currently with and assessing if they think that you are treating them well enough to where if it doesn't work out, they want to get with you. And if you're telling the wrong stories, and if you're bad-mouthing, if you're doing all these things, then you could be potentially missing out on a woman that would legit want to get with you should your first situation not work out. So, and also, I'm against in general just like putting your dirty laundry out there and complaining. Like, ultimately, if you're getting into these relationships with women, then you're choosing them, which means that ideally you went through the dating phase, and based on your dating phase assessment, assumed that you were doing a good pick. So if things start to go haywire, you could spend all day like some guys on the internet do, complaining about, oh, all women this and this and that, and they don't know what they want, blah, blah. Like, hey, I've been through that. I've been through women that I thought were initially great picks, and then it's like, you know, as I started to date them more, other things started to come out, and I realized, oh, this isn't a good pick. But even if that would happen, if my friends ask me, oh, what happened? Why'd you guys break up? Even if I'm the one that initiated the breakup, I'd still be like, oh, you know, just there were some things that came up, and ultimately it didn't work out because of these various differences. But I still think she's a great person, and I still think that she could find somebody else. I just knew that ultimately it wasn't for me. But I always keep it very general like that. I don't try to do extra bad mouthing and say, well, they did this, or this thing popped up, or whatever, because again, I don't know who's listening to that. And I have female friends I could be complaining that to, that you never know if down the line they're thinking like, oh, I'd want to get with this guy. Oh, but you know what? Like, he's talking about. So like, this is what this goes back to, is the guy, I know you're going to want to sometimes want to grieve out your differences and talk about people. If you're going to do that, do it with your guy friends, do it family, or do it with a therapist. But do not go around women that you know or women at your job complaining and bad-mouthing, because, again, you do not know who is assessing you, and you don't know who's out there thinking, man, if this guy gets single at all, I would absolutely love to date him. He seems like a really great guy. He seems like the kind of guy that's going to be there for his woman, because here's the thing, if you only talk about the good things when you're dating somebody, then all the women are going to be able to assess that, man, all the stuff that you told them that were good stories. Like, oh, he took this girl to a concert, and he, you know, really like laid down the law when he had to protect her for something, and he was taking her on all these great dates. That sounded fantastic. And he told me about this romantic gestures, all the romantic gestures he did for this girl. Like, I want that same experience. So then when you break up with the girl, it's like, oh, that's so sad, but it must not have been him because he seemed like he was really a great guy. You know what? I'm going to try to give it a shot now. So just always to say this, guys, you don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's assessing you. And so the better you can do at putting the positives out there and being mindful that others are, in fact, watching you, you never know who's going to want to come into your circle after whatever you're in now doesn't work out and be like, hey, guy, I think you could be the guy for me. All right. So just wanted to put that out there today. I'd love to know your assessment. Has that ever happened to you where like a girl like came to want to date you after a girl you're dating because she knew how great of a guy you were? Like, leave your comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. All right. But thanks for watching. I'm HarryWilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man.